Hey, it's Marat, and in this video I want to talk about something a little different than I usually do, about investing. And this video will specifically go into this strategy called the dynamic dollar cost average, coined by Benjamin Cowan. He is a crypto and financial analyst, basically, mainly focusing on like Bitcoin and things like that. But he came from like the energy sector. He studied physics and nuclear energy and all this stuff. So he's an investor overall that sort of has honed in on cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, utilizing its very powerful volatile cycles to make lots and lots of money. So I find his analysis extremely helpful, and so far he's been on a tear. He's just been basically calling moves that the cycle is making, and really helping a lot of people out. That's why his channel has blown up so much. He's basically just broke 1 million subscribers in the last few months. And one of the recent videos he released about this strategy that he uses specifically, I felt like it was just a gem, like mwah, just chef's kiss. One of the best investment advice videos I've ever seen, and I decided to implement it as my strategy uh, for basically dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin. So I want to start off with this, that the secret for me to investing is where you buy something that is undervalued. You accumulate it little by little over a period of time, and then when it becomes overvalued, right? That's when you sell it and make a big profit. So what is this Bitcoin risk metric, and how can we use it to learn how to invest, to learn how to dynamically dollar cost average? You might ask, what makes dynamic dollar cost averaging better than just regular dollar cost averaging? So there's pros and cons to each. The pros to regular dollar cost averaging, and for those of you that don't know, that means basically putting a certain amount of money into an asset every single week or month. You basically just choose a day, choose an amount, and like clockwork, you just invest. You can set it on automatic investment. Just as long as you believe in the asset, then you believe in the future of this asset, you just let your basically your computer do it, right? You just use an exchange, invest regularly. You can set it on like Robinhood or whatever exchange you use. They have reoccurring investments. Just pulls funds from your bank account regularly, the same amount, and it just does its thing. You don't even have to think about it. You can live your life. The difference in that, so the pros to that is that you don't have to manage it as much. There's less stress, less thought that goes into it. The cons of that is that you can't get the best bang for your buck, because no matter the price, whether it's really low at a lower risk or really high and at a higher risk of dropping, you're going to be investing the same amount, which means, for Bitcoin is like, if it's worth, when it was worth like 20,000, the same amount of money would have bought you much more Bitcoin than when the price jumped to 60,000. Now you're still putting in the same dollar amount and you're getting much less Bitcoin. So the dynamic dollar cost average, the pro in that is that as the risk lowers, the lower the risk of Bitcoin dropping, the more you buy, which means the higher the risk, and the higher the risk jumps, the less you buy. You start selling. So in this way, you're kind of ensuring that you profit, you make a lot more bang for your buck. And so I'll express this to you with like by using his chart. So he showed in his video that if you had bought Bitcoin with $30.30 every week from 2014, you would have invested, till today, you would have invested a total of like $18,300. And that you would have amounted 11.2 Bitcoin total. Today, that amount would be worth $705,000. That's pretty awesome. Investing 18,000 and ending up with 705,000. That is just mind-blowing. That's a lot of money. But if you used the dynamic dollar cost average strategy, where you're buying more at lower risk and selling at higher risks, you would have basically ended up the same amount of investment, right? 18,300 invested. Using that method, you would have ended up with 32.7 Bitcoin today. That would be worth $2.1 million. That is just, you're rich. You're good, right? Like, that is incredible. It's a huge difference. It's a huge difference. But it does take a lot more patience to do this, because it requires you to basically save money when the risk is higher and use it when it drops lower. So let's go into the strategy. How does it work? The scale, unfortunately, it's not super easy to find. Well, you can pay for it. It's like a $50 membership on his website to see like his specific version of that scale. There are free models, so do some research and you'll find it. I found a scale online that I can actually put in the notes below. So follow that, take a look at it, and see if that's helpful for you. So yeah, his website, I don't know for a fact that it has the scale. Yeah, I just checked. His unfortunately, the non-paid version does not show you the risk metrics. You'll have to find a free version of that one. But despite the point, his free videos do kind of explain it, and you can also, like I said, find it for free online. It might not be as clean, might not be the best version, but it is a version, and it's better than nothing. So how does the risk metric work? The way he uses it is 0.5 risk is the center. So what he does is you start accumulating a certain amount every week or every month. Let's just say it's $100 a week. So when the risk is below 0.5, at 0.4, you start to accumulate $100 every week. And then if it drops to 0.3, you double it. You start to purchase $200 a week. If it drops to 0.2, $300. 0.1, $400. Okay? So it goes down to 4x. So from 0.1 to 0 risk, $400, you're putting the most amount. And then the opposite is the case as it goes up. Now for the sales, the way he would do it is once you get to like the 0.6, right, risk, that's above 0.5, so you're getting to higher risk, he would sell in portions of 15, right? So at 0.6 risk, he would sell 1/15 of his coins. At 0.7, he would sell 2. At 0.8, he would sell 3/15. 0.9, 4. And then 1 risk, 5. All from those adding up end up totaling 15. So you end up selling your whole stack by the time you get to 1 risk, the highest risk. And the way he tweaked that recently, and the way I'm going to tweak it is because we don't want to start selling until zero point 0.7 risk, so changing it up a little bit. I'm going to be doing like 2/15, 3/15, and then 5/15 and 5/15. So starting at 6, starting at 0.7, and then 0.8, and then 0.9, and 1. And that way, you're not just buying and selling every time it rises above 0.5 and below 0.5, because that's just doesn't make sense. So you wait a little more before you start selling, and you wait a little more before you start buying. I think this strategy is quite powerful. It ensures the best risk to reward ratio thus far from what I've seen in any breakdown. And yeah, I'm really excited for implementing this and seeing how it works. A few final thoughts that he basically expressed in his video, I thought they were really, really helpful. One thing he said is, there's a difference between being right and making money. That's a beautiful quote. It kind of confused me in the beginning. I was like, what do you mean? Doesn't being right mean you made money? But what he's basically saying is that most people are so focused on figuring out, like, how can I make the most money possible, that they fail to take action and stick with a strategy. It's very, very difficult to time the peak, the very top of the market, when things are like in their best possible position where you could take the most profits. So trying to do that is more than likely going to fail. And what happens to most people is, when they fail to do that, they end up freezing in fear and in greed, and they don't want to make less than they could have, and they end up just like losing all the possibilities, losing everything that they had made, and just writing all that money back down with the market, just losing everything. So this point makes a lot of sense. It's better to have a strategy and stick to it, a good strategy. And this comes from a very old saying: time in the market is better than timing the market. It's an old saying. It's been around forever. That's exactly what he's saying here. And also, it's just better to have a life. Like, our lives should not revolve around, unless like you're a specific market analyst and that's your whole life, then sure, if you want to play that game, you can play that game. But it has not proven to be the best strategy. So yeah, having a life is more important. Nobody has time to just be like looking at charts and ups and downs every day, right? You might be busy, you might be living your life doing something when that moment comes, and you miss it. So what, right? If your strategy was good, you would still make money, because eventually, if an asset is good enough, it's going to give you gains, and you sell out of it. You got to stop thinking in terms of like not being greedy. Basically, that's the whole point, is that you're in it to make money and enjoy that money. Live your life. Do things with that money that you need to do, right? Create something. Create a better life for yourself and for the loved ones around you. So I think that is all. I hope this advice has been helpful. I was basically just expressing what I learned from this analyst and how much I appreciated the advice. Wanted to share it out to other people out there in case you haven't seen it. And yeah, check him out. And I will be doing more breakdowns in the future, maybe talking about if that strategy succeeded for me or not. And good luck to you on your financial journey. Keep living, loving, leveling up, and seize the moment to give you enough.